let's talk to Tyler a little bit. CashFlow guys, what is it?
What is it? I'll make it simple. We make millionaires. That's exactly what we do.
I love it.
Did you say millionaires or billionaires?
Millionaires.
Okay.
We got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What we do is we teach people how to escape the rat race, not flipping real estate. We teach people how to build passive income until they exceed their expenses. And we do that here locally. I know you've been to some of my events.
I have.
They are free in the Tampa Bay area. We also do private coaching for some people on a case-by-case basis. And then we take on clients because at the end of the day, I am a bottom feeder realtor, just like you are the bottom feeder, bottom feeder mortgage guy.
We got suction cups on our mouths.
Absolutely. The difference is that
that's because fish, that's bottom feeder fish, usually suck the algae, guys. Jesus.
you smell that commission.
I was
breath?
wondering what you were talking about there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so how long have you been doing this?
I've been in real estate for about 17 years, but as far as the cash flow piece, just a couple of years now. About 3 years.
God, for how good you are, I think you'd be in that for 10 years. The cash flow game itself is a fun game.
It is. Well, I used to flip houses, and I'm a recovering flipper. I tell people that. I used to, I flipped half of St. Petersburg. If it's yellow with white trim, there's a pretty good chance I owned it at one point or another. But what I learned about that is the government loves house flippers because they make large donations every time they flip a house.
30-35%, right?
Yeah, and I met an awesome CPA.
Wait a minute,
that said,
What? Taxes.
Oh, okay,
Short-term capital gains, man.
So when I cracked the cover a little bit and realized that if I just keep the property, I can eliminate my tax bill. And that's exactly what I did. I don't pay tax anymore. I don't have to pay tax
anymore. And you just increased your profit margin by minimum 30% on every transaction.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice.
So I don't have to play the same game that everybody else plays. I don't have to punch a clock, and I teach other people how to do the exact same thing.
So what is it that you do that somebody can't just go do on their own?
I teach them how to analyze the properties and, more importantly, how to negotiate the deal, how to structure the deal so that they can come in with little to no none of their own money and use people like Frank, leverage the bank's money or other people's money to get into these properties.
So what Tyler's essentially doing in a nutshell is he's not going out and buying fish and handing it to people. He's teaching them how to fish. He's taking an investor. A guy comes to a regular realtor and say, I want to buy an investment property. What does your typical realtor do? They say, oh, okay, let me look on MLS. This property, you could get it for this price, blah, blah, blah. They don't do the math. They don't tell you what it's going to earn. They don't tell you your cost, your expense, your rehab, the big picture. They don't do carrying costs. They don't give you a 20-year plan. That's the minimum of what Tyler does.
Yeah, the bottom line is, realtors aren't taught this in school, and frankly, most of them don't even care. I've been putting this out to the real estate community for quite some time, and usually when I do those games, I'll get a handful of people, and then they get bored after about an hour and leave because they don't see the direct, instant result.
Right.
There's no everybody wants to get rich quick. They want things handed to them.
Right.
We live in that type of society now. It's an instant gratification society.
I know a few people like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think everyone wants instant gratification, but the way that the cash flow game works, okay, and this is from an outsider's perspective who's gotten a chance to play it a few times, it's a kind of sort of like a big boy monopoly is the way I look at it. And Tyler starts you out with a specific sum of money. You choose a random card, you become a profession. So when I did it, I randomly became a lawyer. Okay, I don't know if I actually got to choose what it was or it was random.
No, I just chose for you.
Yeah,
I wanted to make it
hard.
I
chose to be a lawyer.
But am I not right that you would think in the game that getting the higher income per position makes it easier to get out of the rat race? But it doesn't.
Everybody thinks that.
Right, but that's the opposite. So what Tyler's doing is he's teaching you to get out of the rat race with a game that makes it fun, but it makes it very interesting. Like the guy next to me was a janitor. Okay, well here's the difference in the attorney and janitor. Yeah, the attorney's income in the game may have been $10,000 a month. The janitor's may have been $2,500 a month, but the janitor didn't have any bills. The attorney did. The attorney ends up getting divorced during the game. Now he's got to pay alimony and child support and all this stuff. The janitor living a pretty simple life, and if he listens to Tyler or another professional and he understands how to get into this investing the right way, and both of them are going to go into the investment the same way, the cost is less for the janitor. And when they say get out of the rat race, not to completely confuse this, but the idea, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, to get out of the rat race, you have to, have your money working for you and making money without having to work? Is that the...
Correct. You have to build your passive income to a point that it exceeds your expenses.
There you go.
And that's how you get out of the rat race.
Define passive income.
Here's the philosophy. It's income that you don't have to work for.
Okay.
You can get fired from your job, but you can't get fired from your investment properties.
Bingo.
Think about that.
And that's passive income.
That is absolutely passive
income from an asset that you hold that you are not going to work 40 hours a week for, that's bringing you in a profit.
Exactly.
And when that passive income exceeds your expenses, you are no longer in the rat race.
That's correct. And actually, it's a funny story. We got out of the rat race, my wife and I. We didn't realize it for the first 2 months. I paid bills, and I kept thinking, I was waiting for more checks to come in, but I really didn't need them because I still had money left over. And how'd that work? Huh?
And then what all of a sudden it dawned on you and you're like,
Yeah,
out.
we're out. Oh my God. We should go out to dinner or something. Or go buy something else.
well, don't go to somewhere expensive because you'll be right back in.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Not if you don't use debt. If you use cash, you're not going to go right back in.
That's
But if you use
exactly.
debt,
So
yes.
how do you make money? How do you get paid on it?
Well, of course, I am that greasy bottom feeding realtor, so I get a commission.
So you get the
on
commission.
God, now we're
everything you buy.
greasy?
Yeah. Well, you're greasy. You know,
Oh,
you got
God.
the Kodo, whatever.
I know.
Do you charge for the training? Do you charge for showing somebody the steps?
No, the events are free. We put on the events free of charge. We put them on locally at Beef O'Brady's restaurant, so we ask that you patronize the establishment. And we'll teach right there at the events. And if people want to take it to the next level and want some private coaching, we have private coaching available. What the cost is really depends on where they are in their investing journey. Mm-hmm. Just recently, we had a doctor, for example. She was paying $100,000 a year in tax, $100,000 in income tax.
What?
Yeah, we sat her down.
I know a couple people like that.
In about 60 days,
New
we've come
CPA.
up with a plan. We leveraged our team, come up with the plan to get her completely out of the rat race and eliminate her tax bill.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing.
That is really amazing. That is so it can be done for everybody, but the key is the game is for everybody.
It is for everybody. We have 12, 14-year-old kids, and we've got 60-year-old attorneys that are real estate attorneys that should know
So some
everything.
younger people are doing this.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know who said it earlier, but they don't teach finance in school. They don't
No.
teach you how to get rich. They teach you how to become a part of the rat race.
It's a school of hard knocks.
Yeah, and
is what
eventually
it is.
become part of the socialist economy that we're trying to create.
Well,
over
we're
here.
taught to be a victim is what we're taught to do.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We're taught that we need the government.
Yes, we do.
When you consider being out of the rat race, does that happen before or after the properties have been paid for?
It happens before the property's been paid for. What we teach is that there's a difference between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is when you go out and buy a big screen TV on a credit card. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not debt that's putting money in your pocket. But when I call Frank and I drop the E and I get a mortgage from him, and I get an FHA mortgage at 96.5% loan to value,
Yep.
so I only got to put down 3.5% of my money,
Right.
and then I go buy a triplex on that and move into it for a while, a
Right.
year, right? Now I'm leveraging all of Frank's money to make me money. Have you ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? Are you ready to escape the rat race and take your investing to the next level? Head on over to cashflowguys.com and click on the events tab to join us for our next event. See you soon.